Hey gang, we're here for quads and glutes today. We've got a lot of isolated movements. We're not going to use anything super heavy today. I've got in my setup a set of 30s. I have a 50-pound dumbbell, which I probably won't be using today. I've got a set of 20s. I have a set of 10s. I have a plate, which I'll be using for elevated or reverse lunges. And then a shallow bench for B stands, hip thrusts, right into calves, hip thrusts, and then we finish with some light dumbbell work. So I've got a set of 10s there. We're going to go into some single leg clamshells weighted into body weight till failure. And shouldn't need anything like tall in terms of a bench today. I went ahead and did a full dynamic stretch, so please take the time to get your dynamic stretch in. As always, get your static stretching in at the end of the workout whenever possible. I am going to kick things off real quick with some inchworms before we get it going. Just to activate my core, wake up the glutes a little bit, and get my cheat sheet up. Our first superset is going to look like glute focused RDLs with dumbbells. And then we go into a kneeling quad extension. If you're at the gym, you can opt for the leg extension machine, or you may choose a seated position if you're at home, if you're not into the kneeling position. So there's a few different options. Superset number 1 is the only superset that will hit for 4 rounds. Everything else will be 3. One more inchworm. Just want to make sure that core is activated. If you're somebody who experiences any low back pain, like ever, at any point in your RDL work, calves, hip thrust, like anything like that, I want you to focus on activating your core with every part of the rep, every single part. So we never let the core get lazy. We never let the low back take over. Try to avoid the rounding of the back. Keep everything nice and neutral. Yeah, let's get it going. Rep ranges, we go 12 to 15 reps for these glute focused RDLs. Boom, right to it. Take a moment, roll those shoulders down and back. Stance nice and straight. A little bit wider than your stiff leg RDLs, but nowhere near a sumo position. Toes are still pointed straight. We're gonna get to the deepest point of this hinge. Skim those weights, past the knees, past the shins, and then boom, we're looking to get just about an inch deeper. So those lower glutes are getting kicked in, activated. We're halfway there. I'm going for 5 more. Kneeling position. Ten to 12 reps. move is deceptive. I say it every single time. And we got that for 3 more rounds. Yay! Woohoo! So yay! I'm gonna go right back into set number 2 with these because we're training opposite muscle groups. However, if you're still recovering, recover. Take a minute, pull your starting stance together. Shoulders down away from those ears, nice and relaxed. Neutral head, neck, and spine. Tummy in. Glutes on fire. Activating them lower glutes. I'm going 5 more. Oh, that control, that tempo, that mind to muscle connection. I think for sets 3 and 4, I'm going to pick up my 30s. Breathe through it. Regroup if you need to. Reps are going to slow down as you fatigue. It's normal to be expected. Now, if you need a little review, struggling standing up after that. Your seated position, ankle, weight in between the ankle, or ankle weights, or you could take a resistance band and go single leg seated extension with your resistance band, or you can take your weight here, slight little lean, full extension, and return. Same exact way you would use a seated leg extension machine. You're going to be limited with your weight, obviously, because you're using all of your core to support staying in that slight hinged position seated. So I like both. And if you want to see which position works for you, maybe take a set kneeling, take a set seated. I may just do that for rounds 3 and 4. There's really no right or wrong. It's more about preference. Both kind of force you to use body weight, use core strength, use all of your stability in addition to isolating the quads, which I love. Set 3. Good, we're halfway. Last rep for me. 10 to 12 reps. Good, good. Way to breathe through it. Quads and glutes. Glutes and quads. Quick little sip. Last set coming. We move from here into our elevated reverse lunges. Glutes are on fire. Yup. Glutes are on fire. We love hitting that fourth set. We love it. Oh my goodness, way to breathe through it. Way to finish strong. Quick little breather as I set up my plate. You'd use a plate, shallow platform, whatever makes sense for you. I think for at least the first set, I'm gonna go at 20s. Let me check my reps. Let's check the reps. 10 to 12. 10 to 12 is the range we are shooting for. I'm going from one side directly into the other. Now, option, if you are not quite at the reverse lunge phase yet, static lunges with a little support are a phenomenal modification. So boom, here, into that lunge, boom, you've got that support, bridging into a reverse lunge, or you take a split stance, you stay right here and focus on the path in which that back knee is traveling. So either one of those options are really, really good if you're not in full trust of your stability. If you're not in full trust of your hinge, if you feel like you can't stay neutral or engage in the proper way with the full movement, boom, start there, graduate. Here we go. It actually took me many, many months of static lunge work in order to engage properly. Ten to 12 reps per side. Quick little sip. We're rolling into our last set. We actually have our tricep coming next, then a burnout. It's usually a little bit of a tricep burnout combo. Today, we have a special treat because we have single leg bridging, or B stance bridging, basically single leg bridging, into 8 casts with an 8-second hold. 3 rounds of that. Then we got our adductor burnout. When you're ready to pick up them weights and get into this, like I said, if you don't have a good playlist getting you going today, I'll add mine. It's not bad. It's getting the job done here. We're going to give our grip strength a little recovery in this next set as well. You don't need just heavy weights alone to pick up your wrist reps. Could use these anytime you want to worry less about your grip failing you and to just be able to focus on the exercise itself. Now, we're going right from one side into the other side into the full movement. So, the goal is to reach failure. If you're not getting to failure with your current resistance options, I want you to stretch your reps. Simple as that. If you're limited with your setup today, and you're not getting to failure, I want you stretching your reps. So if 8's not cutting it for you, go 9, 10, 11, etc. If you're going all the way up to 15, that tells me you can potentially go heavier, even if that just means maxing out your resistance and then throwing a weight on top. These stands, 95% of the work coming in on your inside leg. Eight casts. 8-second hold. Quick sip of water. Again, your goal is to get to failure. And if you're not getting there after 9 reps, 9 tests, 9-second hold, 10, 11, 12, woo, I got some questions. All right, breathe, stretch, shake, step number 2. Remember, your resistance is going over your hip bones and like the top of your thigh. So where your thigh meets your hips, not across your uterus, like if that makes sense, not across like the pubic bone. That's gonna be a little bit too high. I mean, if you need support, obviously you need padding or support, but make sure you're not lined up in a way that just makes the exercise unbearable for you. Other leg along for the ride right now. Eight-second hold. like to find that shaking point. That's where I like to be. We got one more opportunity to find that. Whew. Last tricep, last opportunity to fail. Find that point of the shaking, getting breathless, maybe just barely squeaking that last rep or two past. Take a second to get your positioning right. Keep that chin tucked to chest. Keep this part of the back to the low back in a straight line. Do not dip. Do not booty pop. Do not keep your shoulder blades on your bench and just literally curl your booty. Like that's, no, you're gonna screw up your low back. Travel in a straight line and keep that chin to chest, shoulders rounded forward. If your shoulders are back here, you're gonna have some low back pain somewhere. Here we go. Eight-second hold. If you failed, congratulations. That means you actually succeeded. Change what you're making failure mean, and you will not fail. All right, weighted clammies. Eight weighted, followed by an AMRAP, body weight. So there's no set amount. There's no right or wrong. Go until you literally can't go no more, and then you're gonna switch. Last little bit of work on the day. It's a burnout. Oh my goodness. All right, last opportunity to fail. Here we go. 8 weighted. Y'all, way to slay. Go hydrate, eat, stretch, move, walk. Eat your protein, eat your carbs. Go slay the rest of your day. Appreciate your ability to do hard shit. And I'll see you next time.